Hari Om to everybody. We will have 5 minutes Ram Nam.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. To connect up what we shared last week, we would like to repeat certain things. In Beloved Papa's life, Ram kindled in his heart a keen desire to realize him, realize his infinite love. His means Ram's. Exactly like that, to hasten our spiritual progress, he also prompted his devotees to take up an in-depth study of an inquest of God from 27th December 2021. With this push, through 1 hour satsang session via Google every day and weekly exposure through 10 minutes of video session from January to May, he blessed us to become aware of the various dimensions from the book which were not known to us till then. At the same time, he also made us to seriously think that while it took 2 years for him to scale the heights, we devotees who have been associating with Venerable Papa's teachings for the past so many decades could not move nearer to the goal yet. So now we take it that probably this must be the purpose in motivating us to take up this in-depth study of IQG during the Sannyas Centenary year. And the study he facilitated so far helps us to think of identifying the areas where we have to improve. In this context, we remember the words of Pujya Mataji Krishnabai. She says, I wanted you all to read it 11 times so that your mind would turn within to Nirguna Brahman. 11 stands for the transcendental truth. There is a special reason for Papa making me ask you to read In Quest of God daily for 11 days. It is indeed to take you within. This is the message. You may not attain Papa within you on the 11th reading, but you will at least have started going within. It is like entering the ashram gates. Once you are within the gates, you have nothing to fear. Likewise, once you turn your gaze within, you have nothing to fear, nothing to worry. This is a very, very important point for all of us. In other words, IQG, in-depth study of IQG, is really to motivate our mind to go within, within. So far, we have been trying to remember the various episodes, various experiences Papa had, the places he visited. Those are all outward. But before starting this, Mataji cautions us that this is an attempt to go within. So we have to bear in mind this. This is the first thing we have to remember. First is the Nirguna Tattva. And Nirguna Tattva can be known and gradually experienced only through inward journey, not from anything else. So now we infer that within 2 years, if Papa could scale the heights, means his inward journey was intense. Whether when he was reading the books, whether he was chanting the name, every time the inward journey was intense. That is why he could scale the heights. Though we have been associating with Papa's teachings for the past so many decades, probably we could not proceed because this factor did not draw our attention. Whenever the word meditation comes, we used to see somebody sitting on a meditation. The pose is there, But we never seriously thought that it is an attempt to go within. That is how Papa could scale the heights. So Ram made him, in other words, Ram made him to take to serious inward journey, because of which he could have the Guna Tattva established in him, and then Ram took him for the purposes narrated in the book. Kindly think about it. This is very, very important. And as he made us to proceed, the process of improving ourselves, it has been split into 4 easily understandable categories. And the first one is preparatory measures. There are about 8 points that well up. So, last week we touched upon the first point, becoming aware of God's grace. For the sake of our own sadhana, we will repeat it. Grace is pouring on all alike. Some receive it, some do not. Some people open the windows of their hearts to receive the grace and benefit by it, while others keep them closed, and so they do not get it. That means that they are not being prioritized. But even to keep the windows of the heart open, we require inner aspiration and longing, which can come to us only through His grace. So the first and foremost thing for a devotee is to intensely pray. You are pouring your grace, that is why I exist. But why don't you make me aware of it? The moment the mind starts thinking, it starts only from me. Whereas the truth is, the me comes into existence only because of you. But for you, I am here. Otherwise I will not. So this sort of prayer from our bottom of the heart. Since we do not know that divine grace is working through us, and we think that we are doing everything ourselves, all our actions, thoughts, feelings, they all get vitiated. Then we take the ownership. In Sanskrit they say, though we are abhoktas and akartas, we are not the doers, we are not the enjoyer, but still we assume, we assert that we are the kartas and bhoktas. This is what is meant here. Vitiated means that. When we root out the ego sense, that God is behind me. Every word, every thought, every act comes from Him, comes from Him, comes from Him. When I get stabilized in this, God's light and power flow in us. We become conscious of the divine power, which is responsible for all our movements and actions. Grace gives us awakening. Realization does not come at once. Awakening. When we go to a spiritual preceptor, we say we got awakened. Because of grace. God had prearranged that and He took us there. That is why we became receptive. Otherwise He is only a person, no? Many people go to a saint. Everybody doesn't get it. To many people, he is a good person, or a Mahatma, or an inspirer, no? You can see so many people come. When you go to a place, you just sit and watch, including Anandash. For one day, they were inside the bhajan hall. People who have not come here, recently, 3 days back. But when he came and took leave of us, in the morning itself they had to leave. He was crying. He said, the moment I saw Mataji's photo, I couldn't help. See? He has not come here. He does not know Mataji. We briefly explained all these things to them when they came the previous night. And then next day morning they attended the flower offering session. After that we requested them to, then they said they would go after 2 or 3 hours. But at the time of giving prasad, this man was full of tears. He said, I find it difficult to express my feelings. God teaches us by sending such a devotee. This is grace. This is how the grace works. It is not a sentimental, emotional feeling. It has touched his heart. Mataji is not there in flesh and blood. He could see Pujya Mataji's photo in the bhajan hall. See, imagine. The Karuna aspect. The all-loving aspect, no? Which is condensed in that eyes. Suddenly gets revealed to a devotee. How? Others did not come and say, grace, awakening. No? So this word, when we read this word, that experience of that person gives us the real meaning. Grace gives us awakening, but realization does not come at once. Before fully realizing God, He makes us to do severe sadhana. Others may think we are suffering, but the sadhana gives us joy. Though it gives us joy, still it is called sadhana. When Ramdas started on his first pilgrimage, he felt God has possessed him. We try to understand what does it mean. No? God has possessed him. That means the sense of individuality is not there. No? Entire thing is dictated, guided, shown, everything by him only. You know? The master guides. Possessed him. What a beautiful word. So we all pray now, please possess us. Enough is enough. Every word of Papa is inspiring. People asked him why he had to go. Ramdas only knew it was not God's will. Because he has been possessed by him. He is not asking any question also, no. Unlike us, unnecessarily he asks, is this right? Should I do it now? So many questions. But there it is unconditional surrender. Resigning fully, When this consciousness fully dawns in us, grace has descended us in all its fullness. That means possession. God should possess. When this consciousness, when we become fully aware that He has possessed us, grace has descended on us in all its fullness. And we begin to feel that we are nothing and God is everything. This supreme state can be got through God's grace alone. The first step. For example, instead of feeling that we are chanting the name, we will start feeling that He is making us to chant. Gradually, this attitude will have to be extended to all thoughts, words and deeds. So initially, when we go to chanting, we intensely pray to Him. Now you see, you have given me the prompting to chant. And you are chanting. Make me feel you are chanting. If you are not there, I will not be able to chant. You are putting the words through my mouth. And you are there in the form of everything, life force. And you are putting the name into my mouth. And thus you make me to chant. With this bhavana, the chanting goes on. This is one example of and gradually we have to extend it. When we do anything consciously or knowingly or attentively, it results in perfection, which is due to His grace. Again, some more ideas, how to become aware of the grace. That is what we are trying. So when we do anything, from the minutest thing, the other day in satsang somebody was telling, when you cut the vegetables, you apply your mind totally on it. Yes, now we remember. When Vinobaji came to Gandhi in Sabarmati Ashram for the first time, Vinobaji has not seen Gandhiji has not seen Vinobaji. So he searched for, he thought, there will be a Mahatma sitting somewhere, and so many people are doing so many activities. Somebody was cutting vegetables, somebody was bringing water from the well, somebody was sweeping, somebody was brushing, somebody was cooking. So he went and asked, where is Bapuji? The person who is cutting vegetable, he is Bapuji. So when he went near him, he looked at him. He said, I am Vinoba, I wrote you a letter. Straight away he gave the knife and the vegetables to him. Start. There was no other initiation, no other talk. Now we realize. Because when the vegetable is given, he will have to think what for it is. Otherwise, he has asked me to do cutting. For the bhaji, what thickness should be there, and everything should be even. It should be done, taken in a good, clean plate. So it is whole soul involvement. Where, what happens then? The me and mind steps out. When there is consciously we are doing it, when we are knowingly doing it, when we are attentively doing it, the result is the me and mind steps out, and therefore it becomes perfect. Perfection. The goal of human perfection, Papa used to say. So wherever perfection is there His grace is there. That is why in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Yoga Karma Kaushala. Yoga means union with God. Efficiency in action, dexterity in action, perfection in action is yoga. So these are all some of the signs by which we try to understand. Grace is not something coming from outside. It is purely from inside only. And so the next item also we will try to cover this week. Understanding what Ram stands for. A point to which probably many of us would not have applied our mind seriously at all. Because we started reading from chapter number 1. We understood the restless nature of Papa, and how he cried, so many things. Never we bothered when he said Ram, what that Ram stands for. Two things are there. Heard from the great void. That also we did not apply. And next line is, that voice was from Ram. In order that Papa had made all the arrangements for us, but we did not know that. But before starting the first chapter, though beloved Papa has dealt with this vital factor Ram in the first article, entitled O Ram, the truth, the love, the goal of human perfection, all hail, all hail. Kindly go through the IQG text, you will find first article. Just before starting chapter number 1. Then at that time when we were not, either we were not able to understand the theme or develop a right concept, nor we felt deeply the need to know Ram seriously. But it is essential. In-depth study now brings out this area of improvement. Try to understand what Ram stands for. First of all, we should know Ram is not an entity, but he is a subtle and mysterious power that pervades and sustains the whole universe. Birthless and deathless is He. He is present in all things and in all creatures who only appear as separate entities due to their ever-changing forms. To wake up from this illusion of forms is to realize at once the unity or love of Ram. Love of Ram means love of all beings, creatures, things in the world. Because Ram is in all. All is in Ram. Ram is all in all. So He is not an entity. A subtle and mysterious power cannot be explained more than this. Only through the creation it can be. Just like electricity cannot be shown, but we can say when the light is on, when the mic is on, when the projector is on, when the laptop is on, we can say the current is there. Similarly, He is a mysterious power who is within all of us, but it cannot be brought out and shown. It is that. It is because of Him that we all function as creatures and beings. This is the first primary lesson we have to learn. And this power is named as Ram. And this is what we are chanting. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 3 times we repeat that in our Ram now. We try to bring in. Yeah. He is a mysterious power, subtle power. He is not an entity. He is within me, within everybody. This is called meditative chanting. No? We become aware of what Ram stands for. To realize this truth, we who through ignorance feel as separate individuals should submit ourselves to the will and working of Ram, that infinite power. Ram, who is one and all pervading. By a complete surrender to the will of Ram, we lose consciousness of the body, which keeps us aloof from Him. Whenever I have got body consciousness, I am not aware of it. In the example we said in cutting vegetables or sweeping, suppose when we apply, me and mind steps out, that means the body consciousness will not be there. Not that we go to a super stage, it's not like that. Even while we are functioning as an individual, there are many moments when this me and mind steps out. The me and mind as we understand it now, we are not going very deep into it. The one which creates havoc, it is stepping out. This divine love can be attained by humbling ourselves to such a degree as to totally subdue our egoism, our self-assertion as a separate individual existence. Having reached this stage, we, by the awakened consciousness of unity or love, are naturally prompted to sacrifice all the interests that concern the body for the welfare of the fellow men and fellow creatures who are all manifestations of the same Ram. So this is very important. Even this hearing will not help us much, but we have to take to inward journey with some of these words. These words are from Papa's only. So kindly go back to your bookshelf, take the IQG again, go through the first, hear this also, and make an attempt to go within, so that we have some clear idea, understanding what Ram stands for. Next point we will take it up next week. Hari Om.